What is an MVP? An introduction. MVP. What is it? And why should your startup develop one? By now, you've established your startup company, and you are actively looking for funding to cover expenses for developing your product. But before that comes an important step: testing your idea and your assumptions. To do that, you need to assess what your target audience needs and what resonates with them. The fastest and most efficient way to do that is through an MVP, which is short for minimum viable product. Creating an MVP entails developing a minimal product with the least amount of effort and a bare-bones budget to help your company assess whether there would be demand for your finalized product and to validate the idea itself. So, how did MVPs come about? MVPs gained popularity through Eric Rice's book, The Lean Startup. In this book, Rice defines an MVP as a version of a new product which allows a team to collect the maximum amount of validated learning about customers with the least effort. Creating an MVP motivates startup teams, as it requires them to do the least amount of work possible on the product, but get useful feedback that will help them in many ways. Firstly, it helps them avoid wasting time working on a product efficiently and then realizing no one really wants the product. Through an MVP, you don't have to fully develop the product, but you can fully gain an understanding of your customers' interests. Your MVP can offer your company several benefits, such as helping you onboard potential investors, making it easier to test business concepts and models, helping you develop a monetization strategy, improving your business's cost efficiency. Since the product will be small in nature and not fully developed, cost would still be manageable. The experimental nature of an MVP will help you understand which features are worth your costs without actually spending them. An MVP requires you to put your customers first, understand them, and aim at unlocking sustainable value for them via your product. So, the main goal of an MVP is to collect knowledge and validate assumptions in your business model. An MVP may not be more than a landing page or a service appearing to be fully automated, but is actually fully manual behind the scenes, where you can actively observe your customers' actual behavior with your product. An MVP allows you to see what people actually do with your product, which is more reliable than asking people or assuming what they would do. Through your MVP, you'll gain insights via what Rice calls the validated learning process, where you can understand whether your customers will actually buy in or purchase your product. So, if you want to effectively execute your product and become customer-centric, get the attention of potential investors, test business models easier and faster, develop a monetization plan, and be as cost-efficient as possible, your best option is an MVP. There are 4 main pillars to consider when developing and deploying an MVP. Make sure that your idea is customer-centric and validate the customer's appetite before getting started. Prototype in accordance with customers' needs. Test and learn fast. Improve through iteration. Now, when should you start using an MVP? In a nutshell, as soon as possible, which is basically a few weeks after developing your product and business plan. Common mistakes founders make is feeling the need to perfect their product before launching their MVP. By doing this, founders are wasting precious time trying to develop a product that becomes too elaborate without testing it. The important thing is to understand your product and customers. After that, you should launch quickly and get your product to the market fast. Now that you know what an MVP is and what it offers your company, stay tuned to learn how to build and map out your MVP in the next episode.